Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
And welcome to another episode of the Philly BroCast. I am your host, Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? What's going on, buddy? How are you tonight?
Not bad. Can't complain. Happy New Year to you. Glad to
Happy
start
New
the New
Year
Year
to you.
off right.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a week or two, obviously, with the holidays. We took a little time off. But we got a lot to catch up on, a lot to discuss. So if you're out there, please shoot us a comment. We'll read your comments on air. Let us know what you guys are thinking. First and foremost, before we get into anything, obviously we should discuss the situation that happened last night on Monday Night Football. I don't know if you were watching it live. I unfortunately was not, so I only saw, what was available clips-wise. Obviously, seeing the tackle and the collapse and kind of, a little bit of what transpired afterwards. So I'm not sure what was actually on live TV. But it was a new level of scary.
Absolutely. Just so much, outpouring of love for this guy. All the donations to his GoFundMe, things like this that are coming from it are really, really huge positives in this situation. But the fact is, a lot of people in the world saw something devastating happen last night, and it is one of those jarring situations that you're never going to forget. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've all, unfortunately, anybody who's a fan of football has seen their share of terrible hits. Obviously, earlier this season with kind of Tua, That was a bit scary when he had the concussion, and then a game or two later when he came in, he got another one. And you saw his fingers locked up. It was very scary. I remember I can't remember the player's name, but I remember as a youngin, a member of the Detroit Lions made a tackle and had a spinal injury. Unfortunately, and was paralyzed. But that always stuck with me, as I'm sure that will for many people, especially any younger folk that were watching. It looked quite routine. T. Higgins went to kind of lower his head, hit the chest, and unfortunately, that maybe that trauma of that hit just hit the right spot. Unfortunately, so we don't know a lot of information, but the last thing I have heard is that they have him stabilized and he is on a breathing tube, but his condition is much better than what it was. When he was heading to the hospital. So certainly prayers up for him, for the Buffalo Bills, for Cincinnati, for all communities involved. It was scary. I can't recall a time in football where life and death were on the line. They quite literally had to resuscitate him. It was a little scary, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a dangerous sport, and we all know this, but when it comes to a situation like this, where you kind of get a real grasp on what these athletes put on the line every week in, week out, even in practice, you've heard crazy stuff happen in practice too. And it's just, when you're thinking about, these guys and they go out and it's like, oh, they just get paid millions of dollars because they're here to entertain us. I mean, these guys have worked their asses off their entire lives just to get to this point. And yes, they do make a lot of money, but it's because they literally put their body on the line every single week.
Oh, yeah.
It could be one situation where you need something to help you and your family live for the rest of their lives. So,
right. Yeah, no, and we all forget kind of, that these players are humans. They have families. They have mothers and fathers and wives and daughters and sons. So, it really kind of, the humanizing aspect of what happened, I think, is good in a sense, meaning, that the game of football kind of got put on hold, and I'm glad they didn't try to continue, and it looks like they may not even make up the game. It is what it is. I'm sure. I know there, just because the way of the world, I know there's probably a contingency of people that are super pissed off that they're probably not going to play this game, and the fantasy implications. I get it. The NFL is $1 billion business, but life comes before that. So,
I mean, I completely get it from a Bills or anyone who was a fan of the game last night. It doesn't have to be of each team. Just say a fan of football. You're like, what's happening? What's going on? Why isn't this going to get played? I mean, things will probably come out. I'm sure that things might get moved around in which that they can play this game.
Yeah,
they could logistically, I think they can make it work. So I don't believe that there's an issue there. Fantasy football, in regards to that actually is one of the situations that I was in. So I was in the championship game at a work league, and it came down to the person I was facing being down to me, but she had Josh Allen and T. Higgins going.
Oh, boy.
Most likely would have won her the championship game. I mean, when you look at it rules-wise, it might lean one direction. When you look at it from the human aspect-wise, it leans a completely other.
Sure.
We just said split it 50-50 down the middle, doesn't matter. Boom, it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think a lot of them should come down to.
I hope people aren't in their feelings about that, and they do the same thing. They split it. It's unprecedented. It's more important than any amount of money that's bet on the game or fantasy football or playoff seedings or whatever. You know what I mean? It's all that matters is his health and that he's able to, return to a normal life.
Yeah,
Regardless of if he's able to play football again, he needs to be able to live.
absolutely.
So,
But prayers go out to all the family and friends and players, and
for real. So, it was certainly something unprecedented. So, Shane checks in. Football is secondary at this point. We all must pray that DeMar Hamlin pulls through. He needs all of us. We are all Bills fans at this time. Yeah, absolutely. Because not only Hamlin himself, but obviously his teammates were so visibly distraught. Even Bengals players. I know T. Higgins. I'm sure a lot of thoughts and prayers go out to him because he's the one who connected with Hamlin and pray that he doesn't blame himself for having any involvement. It was just a play. It happened. So, well said, Shane, for sure. So, but yes, obviously we wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
That's it because it is all over right now. So, but yes, let's transition as it's not an easy one, but let's try to transition over to the Birds, losers of 2 straight, 2 chances to clinch the number 1 seed and the division, losing to Dallas and to New Orleans, which also helped screw good draft pick status. So overall, the last 2 weeks, not great. Obviously, without Hurts, pretty good indicator that Hurts is quite valuable to this team and is one of the main reasons why we are where we are. All indications are that he will play, but I think a lot of it still has to do with whether or not the Giants decide to rest their starters, as they cannot change their fate. They have already made the playoffs. They cannot move seedings, so it really does not matter whether or not they win or lose this game. So, question is, do they do that? Do they rest their starters, or is the the memory from a few years ago when the Eagles were playing Washington and wanted to see Nate Sudfeld and ended up losing to the Washington. Were they the football team at the time? I don't know. And thusly knocking the Giants out of the playoffs. Does that factor? Who knows? What do you think? Do you think they end up playing the starters? Do you think they pull them, rest a few? What's your sense?
Honestly, if it's locked up, they have nothing to lose. They really have nothing to gain from beating the Eagles. I would say that they will sit their starters simply because just look at what happened last night. You don't want anybody to get hurt, anything to happen to them. One play, it can be the season for that person. So obviously you don't want to test fate. And honestly, it's just hilarious because the last time we did this show, I believe we were going into the Bears game, full confidence. Then we figured, got everything locked up, just got to beat Dallas. We haven't done the show since then, but everything feels like it's fallen apart for the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it's wild how just 2 weeks can change, even my perspective on this team. I do believe that this team is as good as advertised, still top team in the league with Jalen Hurts, obviously.
Right.
But it just, nothing worked in their favor. Losing that, draft capital, if you will, by having the Saints win and the games that you lost. And it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Lane Johnson and
So honestly, to answer your question and to get back to it, the Giants are going to play probably a good amount of some of their line, defensive line, offensive line. Saquon's not going to play. Daniel Jones not going to play. Maybe one of their top wideouts won't play, but the rest will play a little bit, and then that's it.
Okay.
So, I mean, star players will not play.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that just need some snaps, they'll play and then get out. That'll be it.
So right after the game, Brian Dable, the head coach of the New York Giants, did say that he does not plan on resting any of his starters, but obviously a lot has transpired over the last 24 hours or so, with everything that happened last night, and perhaps that may factor in. But we'll see kind of what what the reports come out at the end of the week. Whether we see a lot of people that are on the kind of a healthy scratch, if you will. That'll certainly determine what we get. Now, let's say in this scenario that the Giants are not playing any of the starters. That it's all backups, it's all whatever. Do you still put Jalen Hurts out there? Or do you go with Gardner Minshew?
That is a fantastic question. If Jalen Hurts is 100%, I would want him to play. And this is so tough because it's going against what I've said. So what I said was, sucks Jalen Hurts goes down. We take care of Dallas. He can then rest the next 2 weeks.
Right.
And then the bye week. I mean, so much rest. People were like, oh, you can't give him that much rest. The way that he practices and recuperates is nothing that any of us can understand. The guy's a freak athlete. He's super young. I mean, the guy grinds every day. I'm sure he's grinding like right now. He's probably in the gym right now. So basically what I'm trying to say is that Jalen Hurts playing would give him, I guess, a little bit of snap time, that real game experience, getting back into it again.
Yep.
But again, this is the same thing. Like, one thing can happen, and there goes the playoffs. Like, I want him for the playoffs. So to answer your question, I would rather have Gardner Minshew play, but I think that they would play Jalen for a little bit if he was 100%.
Yeah, I think probably what the best thing to do is, because you don't want to mess around, and if you're going to dress him, you're playing him. So play him first half, see what you got. If it's already a slaughterhouse, then put in Minshew, finish up the game. Hey, listen, kid, let's not screw this up, and get out there with a victory. Unfortunately, if it's going to be close, you got to keep him in there. But I say start Jalen Hurts, see how the game goes, and if you're able to pull him, pull him. Plain and simple. You need to secure this win. It's unacceptable to backdoor your way into the playoffs with 3 straight losses. You're most likely going to end up with the 5 seed if you do lose. And then you don't have any home games. Home games, none. You went from having, potentially 2 in the divisional and championship game to none. And that would be terrible. And, it just would be a terrible momentum swing going into the playoffs, having to go to Tampa or wherever, especially if it's Tampa, considering how last year ended with the throttling they gave us.
A different scenario this year.
Yeah, it's a different scenario. I get it all, but it's still got to be in the mindset.
Of course, and it's gross to actually have this discussion right now.
I know. We should have handled Dallas, and we could have been talking about
that was a tough game. That was a tough game against a good opponent. So if we lost that game, I wasn't as upset because we should have handled the game on Sunday.
Well,
they should not have lost to the Saints, period.
Mm-hmm.
And our defense is better than that. Our defense did a pretty good job, holding them to the amount of points, I guess I wouldn't be as happy with. But, overall.
Well, they held them to 13 points, shut them out in the second half.
I'm just saying, that first drive, I mean, I thought they were going to just run all over us all game long.
Sure.
Thankfully, they didn't. And thankfully, they didn't go for it at certain points when I know they could have gotten it, especially with Taysom. The guy was all over the place.
Oh,
I know.
So annoying.
So, thankfully, the Saints coaching didn't come through for them as much. But yeah, I mean, even if they held them to 13 points, I feel like that's like 10 too many. Seriously, I honestly think that this score should have been completely flipped, if not the Eagles winning 27-10.
Yeah. I mean, it should have been. Their game plan was terrible going into the game.
They tried to game plan for Gardner Minshew as if he was Jalen Hurts.
Not only that, but you're also going against one of the worst rush defenses, and you give Miles Sanders 2 carries in the first half.
It's a joke. So, between Minshew and coaching,
the coaching, yeah.
That's what I have.
But hey, listen, they at least, again, like I said, the defense certainly stepped up, especially in the second half. Brandon Graham ended up getting over 10 sacks for the first time in his career. Congratulations to him, especially coming off of the Achilles. And the Eagles, for the first time in NFL history, are the only team to have 4 players with double-digit sacks.
That's awesome.
Which is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And it's fun. It's one of those things that we talked about before. And I believe you even made the comment to me because we were getting pressures but no sacks and stuff like that. And you were like, so, you want to go up to the girl and just talk to her, or do you want to get her number?
Right.
And I get it. It makes sense. But just a few little, twitches and
tweaks.
Changes. Yes, tweaks and changes can make all of those pressures turn into sacks because of those changes.
Yeah. Not
much was done between last year and this year, just a few tweaks.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And, listen, they've, the number 1 sack team in the league. Earlier, they were the number 1 turnover. They've not been that great at it lately, but obviously some of the injuries have certainly affected that. Speaking of which, looks like Lane Johnson is on track for the divisional game. He's just honestly, he's already said, I'm going to push surgery off until the end of the season. I'm just going to rest it. Shoot me up before the game. Let me go. Like, what an animal. Honestly, what an absolute animal. Because
he's a beast.
That's got to be. I mean, you tear your abdominal. Like, my God. Yeah. I get out of bed wrong, and it ruins my day.
Yep.
This guy literally his abdomen was just like just torn, and he's just like, just shoot me up with some pain medicine. It'll probably wear off by halftime, but I'll still be okay.
Yep.
Like, warrior.
He's a monster.
We don't know the status of Avonte Maddox. Still officially out indefinitely. He has a pretty severe turf toe, but they're really, really hoping timetable-wise that there's a very, very small, slight chance he could be there for the divisional, but most likely championship game at the earliest. C.J. Gardner-Johnson should be activated and should play this week. Same with Robert Quinn, who, honestly, let's not pretend like we all remember that he was still on the roster at this point.
I mean, I think we do. We just weren't seeing any production out of him. I mean, he gets hurt, and it's like, there it goes.
He did absolutely freaking nothing. Played like dog shit. Got hurt. Then we just kind of forgot about him. Josh Sweat, they claim is day to day. I would assume he's not playing this week, and especially if we can clinch this bye, he should be ready to go.
That's another pretty intense moment.
That was pretty scary.
I do not want to compare it, and I am
Oh
not
yeah,
comparing it.
of course not. But again, anytime you have some sort of spinal neck, it's obviously very scary. And a lot of what they did was for precautionary measures, obviously. And it seems like again, he checked out fine, and it was more or less just making sure that everything was handled properly. So, thank God. By the way, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, he has been playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
Hargrave out of his mind. Edwards. I mean, like you said, and then you have the BG and Fletcher.
Cox is great. Jordan Davis has been a little hit or miss lately since he's been back.
His presence is huge, though.
Well, that's the thing. That's what he brings to the table first and foremost. But yeah, I think maybe it's mostly just because the others are kind of outshining him. We've seen Dean a little bit on the field, getting out there slowly but surely. I would have loved to, have done this a lot earlier, so that way he may, could be a nice contributor in the playoffs should we need him. But yeah, Edwards is flying around. The fact that he wasn't even a Pro Bowl alternate and wasn't talked about as one of the bigger snubs in the league, much less on the Eagles, is astonishing.
It's fitting, though. That's a very Eagles thing. I mean,
very Eagles thing. You're right, but dude's a monster, and honestly, he's having one hell of a season. He may or may not have just priced himself out of returning to the Eagles, depending, especially if Gannon goes ahead and gets a head coach job. I could easily see, Edwards saying, "Hey, remember me? Pay me lots of money," and Gannon overpaying for him to be his new linebacker. So,
yeah, I mean, overpaying is even tough to say, considering that the production that he's had. You understand his past and where he's been and how productive he was, but this year alone, I mean, he's definitely. It's one of those things like, as you're watching the game on Sunday or this upcoming Sunday, just like. Look at all the players that are making differences and think about how Howie Roseman has to work money around to possibly keep like half these guys.
Right. I mean, you're right.
Terrible.
There's so many people that are free agents right now. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Brandon Graham, I think Hargrave, isn't Fletcher Cox technically coming up 1 year?
Well, he was only 1 year.
You have Edwards, you have Kaiser White, you have Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It's
literally half of the people that are making a difference game by game. Howie has to decide how to keep them. If there's anybody in the league that I trust to do that, it's him.
But you're also, Howie
you only got so much dough.
Right, Howie is the king of kicking the can down the road. So hopefully that doesn't put us in that situation again. But.
I was sitting at the game on Sunday, and I was literally sitting like this because I was like disgusted. The one guy next to me, I don't know if he was a Saints fan or just like he just kept mentioning to me and the other guy, like you guys need to do this. You guys need to do that.
One of those guys, huh?
Yeah, but he was just laughing at some of the stuff, like when Gardner Minshew threw the pick to Marshawn Lattimore, in which everyone that was watching, everyone in the stadium, even Marshawn Lattimore's mother, knew that he was going to get that pick six, because Gardner Minshew opened the book and just said, "Hey, can you read this for me? Oh, it's a pass to that guy. Yeah, here you go."
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there and he's like, "Man, you guys got to do this." And I just looked at him and I was like, after all of your talk, all I'm thinking about is how much money we have to pay our defense in the upcoming year. And it's just not going to work. I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to shake out. And that's the thing, especially if we do well, and we make, Super Bowl run. There's kind of two thought processes of one of, well, I just won the Super Bowl. Let me cash out and go make bank, or hey, listen, let's run it back. I'll take a slight hometown discount to keep keep on the roster. So obviously praying more for the latter.
The latter happens with veterans, correct? A lot of the time.
Yeah.
And the former will be for someone like Bradbury or CGGJG, whatever it is.
CJ Johnson. I hope not. That's who I really want them to continue to have on the squad in the secondary. That is.
Yeah, but like we were just talking about, linebackers, defensive.
Yeah, but Bradbury will probably price himself out. He's older. Gardner Johnson's young. He probably won't be as expensive, and you could probably still get, Edwards, and with Dean coming up, you say goodbye to Kaiser White. Those are your two decisions right there. You say, hey, Fletch, you want to stay on this team? I got a nice vet minimum for you. Brandon Graham, we'll give you a little bit more than vet minimum because you did a good job this year. And Hargrave, well, you're still a D tackle. We'll pay you. And then that's probably all the money we have.
I don't want to lose Kaiser White either.
Oh,
he's been fantastic.
No, he hasn't.
What?
No, he hasn't.
You should check the stats from the past
You're watching
game.
the wrong game, brother. You're watching the wrong game. Listen, he has been average.
Watching the wrong game the last game? He was all over the place last game. All over. Just give me a second. I'll get some exact stats here. But just a beast last game.
Yeah. No, you go ahead and do that.
I am.
I stick to my story.
2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss.
Kaiser White had 2 sacks?
Nope. Sorry. Reading the wrong line.
Yeah, you are.
7 total tackles, 4 solo. I mean, that's top 5 in the defense for that game.
Top 5? Okay, he's a linebacker. He should automatically be top 5.
Well, it's funny because there's 2 in the top 5.
Right. Edwards.
He's a monster.
You're right.
He had 2 tackle for loss. I apologize. I was thinking of Hassan Reddick, and the whole time that you were talking about Kaiser White, number 7 was flashing in my head. I swear.
Mm-hmm.
But Hassan Reddick's technically a linebacker / D-edge / whatever.
Right.
And he is a guy. Do we have him? What's our deal with him?
We got him for a couple of years.
Okay.
So,
don't give me this face. Don't give me the Was it
You know what I'm not hearing right now?
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's not happening. But I will apologize to Kaiser White. I'm sorry. I thought you did better.
I thought you were someone else.
I literally
thought you were Hassan Reddick, who I like a lot better.
A lot better.
I'm
glad we have him because that guy's a monster.
Sacks. 16 sacks. Whew. When was the last time we had somebody over 15 sacks? It's been a while. Reggie White. What?
I said Reggie.
Yeah. So, Kaiser White, bye-bye.
Didn't Connor Barwin have some?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that just
I was just about to say. It was like Connor Barwin or
something stupid.
It wasn't Curse. I think it was Barwin. Or what's his name? Trent Cole.
Oh, I don't know if he ever.
It might have been like one of those 2 guys that like snuck in there and did some like stupid number of sacks.
Yeah, for 2014, he had 14 and a half.
Was that Connor?
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was completely thinking of Hassan Reddick.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's so funny. I love it.
This is also the guy that didn't remember that he told people that he was going to hang out with them on New Year's Eve, and told you that I was going to come over your house for some reason tonight.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you end up doing for New Year's?
New Year's Eve,
Yeah, yeah,
I was hanging out at a friend's house, and I will leave it at that.
yeah. Woo!
You already called me a dirty dog.
I did. Well, that I don't remember.
See? And you don't remember either.
Yeah, well, that was the night of, and I had plenty to drink at that point, so I have the built-in excuse.
All right, back to the birds.
And back to the birds.
So,
Because your
Going
White
into this-
Sox
hold on.
has
Going
Conrad
in-
good.
going into this game, one of the big things that I'm looking for is the routes with AJ Brown, because I still don't think that Hurts should play at all. The routes with AJ Brown that Hurts usually connects on, these need to be found more often, in my opinion. He makes himself open. Like, the guy forces himself open. And I really think that these routes need to get found. Gardner just needs to watch a little bit more tape. And then, obviously, like you were saying, like Miles Sanders shouldn't have 12 carries in a game.
No.
So you got to get Miles Sanders involved in the game. Our offensive line is way too good to let a running back have under 65 yards. Like, that's ridiculous.
And you know what? You know, I will say Driscoll did a rather decent job. You know, he didn't. You know, he obviously is no Lane Johnson, as there's only one him, but he did pretty decent stats wise, and kind of just you know, going over some plays on tape. Yeah, he did pretty decent, so I can't be mad at Driscoll.
Was he on? Yeah, Cam Jordan would come off that side a couple plays, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
dude, that's a really tough ask.
Yeah, it is.
He's one of the best in the league, and he's been that for years.
Right.
I think I saw a stat. He's like over 115
sacks,
and that's just mind-boggling.
It's not an easy feat to get over 100 sacks in this NFL anymore, and you know, there's only a small handful of people that have done it, and he's certainly one of them. So
he's been a consummate pro.
Yeah. So yeah, no, like I said, I think the main killer to our game against the Saints was coaching, honestly, and execution by Gardner and you know, maybe some others, but yeah, it's listen, we win this game, the last two games don't matter. We can forget about them. We don't have to ever talk about them again. Just win this last game against the Giants. You knock up the number one seed, lock out the division, get yourself another week to rest, get Jalen Hurts another week to rest. Hopefully, you only have to play him a little bit, but at this point, I'd rather say screw it. Let's play him a half. Let's get up by 20, and then bring in Minshew to you know, lock the door.
I'd rather see Ian Book.
Well, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'll fucking put you in there. I don't give a shit. As long as you know.
You want to see us dominate, don't you?
No, actually, I want to see you get blindsided. Oh,
that's really messed up, dude.
It is, but it'd be a pretty cool highlight. I definitely get a picture of it framed of you like mid like.
Yeah, just like back breaking.
Yeah, your neck's this way. Your
balls flying out of my hands.
And
you just title it "The Perfect Play."
Yeah, I'll have you sign it and everything, and I'll
definitely sign it.
Put it up on my wall right here. In fact, I will take all of this down, put it in a
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Frame that big.
You would not take Reggie down.
No. Just the middle part. I'd take all the middle part, and that would take up the whole middle. I'd have whatever the largest poster board, 36 by 24 of it, just nice and framed. With maybe you can, you know, put a inscription on it. Ow, my back.
You know what? I would actually sign it before the game, just so when I go in and just completely tear up an NFL defense with my amateur arm, you're just going to be like, wow, I got this sign beforehand.
Oh, okay.
I'm so happy.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm gonna get a picture of you breaking your back signed before it actually happens, but it's not for me to. I'm not a scientist, so
You don't have to be. You just need some computer arts work and maybe like $20.
okay. Well, anyway, last game of the year, can't hold nothing back.
Yeah.
We
What
know.
else you got, Brent?
We know. Tailgate's going to be absolutely epic. I cannot wait. Last tailgate of the year. Can't hold nothing back.
That's accurate.
That is accurate. Got the new cornhole bags. I got a brand new. Got flags. Got breaking out the flags.
Okay. Oh, we're breaking out the flags for the last game instead of the first game next year.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? I
don't like it.
I like it.
Nope.
Because I was constantly adding stuff throughout the year.
Yeah, but it wasn't something that stood 30 feet in the air.
I mean, so what? I can throw a cornhole bag 30 feet in the air if you want.
I'm sure you already have at some point.
I probably have. This way people know where to go. You look for the flag.
Yeah, there's 8 other people around us with flags.
You're right. But this one is our flag. The Philly Sports Alliance flag. Right there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so should be a good time. I actually had to figure out who I'm going to take now because our buddy Larry apparently is out of town.
I got a couple options for you.
Do you? Okay. Because I already asked about like 5 people and they were like, nah, I don't think I want to go. All right. What else?
Did you ask Dives?
No, I did not. Actually, that's a good idea. That would be a great game. Be great there. I'll actually, you know what who I should ask first though? I should ask Shane first. And then he'll say, well, no, I can't. I'm in Oklahoma. And then I feel better about it. Because I asked.
Yeah, you're right. Because if he comes out here,
best case, he's like, screw it, I'm coming. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to walk around with him and just like have him as like a marionette. I just have my hand on the back of his shirt and I'm going to be like, ask me anything. And then just put his face in front of mine.
There you go. Might as well, right? But yeah, if anybody's going down to the game, obviously hit us up. We're always in Wells Fargo lot between C1 and C3. And now all you got to do is look for the flag 30 feet up in the air. It's a white flag with the logo right there. And I think I'm breaking out the old Kelly Green flag too. I got down here too. So anyway, yeah, stop on by. We'll give you a drink, maybe a food item on the griddle. We'll see what we're cooking. We got to decide what we're making.
Reis, yeah, what do you know about the Sixers in their last 10 games?
That they have won 8 of them.
Fantastic, man. They have really been playing some good basketball of late. Not courtesy of Doc Rivers, just so everyone knows.
Yep.
It's pure talent and drive for this team. I mean, Joel Embiid named the Eastern Conference Player of the Month.
Easy.
Dominant. And, I mean, the team as a whole seems to be coming together offensively, defensively, and I'm super excited for where they're at right now. I mean, they're like a game and a half back on like 3rd place. So I'm super excited, super pumped. They're all coming together very well, especially with the return of Maxey, which is huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Real quick, because we do have a comment, I just want to bring it up on the board about the Birds. What do you guys think on Hurst's MVP chance? 2 losses without him. I think it actually is a good argument for his case. Not that the voters agree with that thinking. Yeah, Tenny. Yeah, it certainly makes it glaring how important it is for him. For this team. So. 5%. And yeah, listen, I hope it factors. It probably won't, but I think he still deserves it, regardless of missing a couple games. And that's another reason to have him come in. Come in, play a half, throw 3 touchdowns, be up 21-0, get out the game. Boom, MVP.
It's going to be tough. Again, I don't think you should play at all. So,
I mean, I would love for him not to have to play, but I don't want to take a chance because we all thought, Dallas, all right, whatever. Whatever happens with the Dallas, whatever happens. And we were fine with it. But the Saints, it was a guaranteed win. And we didn't. We were played like dickholes, honestly.
Well, we were bamboozled by our coaching staff.
Yeah.
Bamboozled. Swindled.
Hoodwinked.
Deceived. So what I'm trying to say is that when you go into this Giants game, you roll with the same roster and you just do things in the manner in which you should have done against the Saints.
I agree.
So you just look at the Saints game, you look at the Giants. I mean, record-wise, they're really not too far apart. And then
3 game difference, but okay.
What?
2. Sorry.
Yeah, not much. Not much difference.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say, you plan the same way that you should have with the Saints. Do it against the Giants.
I'd rather.
What are you doing? What are you doing back there?
I'd rather.
You went back. You felt like. I mean, if your body language is saying anything, it seems like you don't want to hear me. But I'm gonna make you hear it.
Listen, I was expecting you to be here. You're just a breaker of all promises lately. So, listen, I don't want it either, but I also don't trust it. And who do I trust more? The coaching staff to figure it out or Jalen Hurts to just go out there and ball? Jalen Hurts. That's who I'm trusting. So listen.
So you're saying he's not a system quarterback?
That's god darn right. He is the system. That's right. Said it. I went there. No one's ever went there, but I did. No one.
I'm sure someone's went there.
Yeah, I'm joking, obviously. Everyone's been there.
You put the question back up. We both need to answer this person's question kindly and quickly.
Okay.
I think that his chances of winning MVP this year went out the window
when
he got hurt. Unfortunately, it's true because I feel like every week there's someone that's going to take an edge on someone else, and then that's what's going to happen.
All right, so he's saying you in for Minshew, but I got to be the blind side. You're right-handed, right? So I'll be the Jordan Mailata. You can move over to the right.
I would be rolling right all game.
Yeah, I would too. Because there'd be someone behind you.
Yeah, because you would literally be like, "Hey, you're on the list. Go ahead."
Oh, come on, look at this.
Oh, unclip the rope. You're in. That's you. Yep. Right this way, sir. Would you like a cocktail?
Can I get you a glass of wine? Yeah, you would be rolling out to the right. But listen, I got Landon next to me. I picture him just kind of picking me up and using me to block people.
Just turning you sideways.
Maybe he just turns me sideways so he can block two people at once.
Exactly. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be the best move.
Hey, listen, whatever gets the job done, I'm all for it. I am willing to put my body on the line for an Eagles victory.
I personally can throw well on the move.
You
to
do
my
have
right.
you do have a good arm. We have had many throws in the parking lot.
Many
throws. Many
But
throws.
yeah, I don't know if the Eagles fan base is ready for someone to come out of the blue like me, or yeah. Listen,
yeah.
I don't want to mess with the mojo.
It'd be very jarring for people.
Yeah.
Like,
First
first
why
question.
is this 35-year-old fat dude?
Who is this guy? Number? Yeah. By the way, what number would you make?
10. It's been
I mean,
my
that's
number in every sport
That's
for all
already
time.
Gardner Minshew. You can't choose 10. He's already got it.
Obviously, he would be out.
Listen, it's too little time to trade numbers. You gotta pick something.
Then it'd be 11.
Is AJ Brown? Can't do that.
I know. You're asking me what my numbers would be.
Right
then I
now.
would go with number 3 after Mr. Allen Iverson.
Pascal can't do it.
All right, 5.
Retired.
I know. I know. No, I'm not gonna pick a fucking number. I'm sorry. A number.
Woo! I cursed. I curse all the time. You
I'm not gonna
can't
pick a number.
You can't have 2. You can't have 1. You can't have 3. You can't have 4. You can't have 5. You can't have 6. You can't have 7. 8. Well, he's Sipos. Is he officially out for the year?
I'd go 18.
Isn't that Covey?
No, it isn't.
I think it is.
No way. It is. It is. Yeah, you're right. I don't even have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it is.
Dang.
Well,
retired.
duh. 92? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that one works. Oh man,
We're done.
yeah. My laptop's gonna die in like 3 seconds anyway.
Yeah, and I would love to talk more Sixers. I would love to talk maybe a second about the Flyers, but I don't care.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about the Sixers next week.
Thank you all for watching, listening, liking,
sharing,
all of it. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
commenting.
Make sure you check out the six-pack coverage. Make sure you check out PSL. PSA? No. Sorry. Yes,
PSA.
we are PSA. I know that. But what's
TPL.
TPL? Yes, the Painted Lines. They have been awesome for everything, sharing with us. They stream our shows. We stream their shows. It's been a great partnership. Thank you so much. And Reis is going to get frustrated because I'm just like massacring this. But it's all accurate at the same time.
It's accurate to a point. Yes, and of course, obviously, all of our Philly Sports Alliance shows are brought to you by the official sponsor, La Terrain Watches. Head on over to la-terrain.com. Get yourself a fancy-ass watch for so much cheaper than those other guys. La Terrain Watches, high-quality stuff for half the cost, if not more. I have 3 of them personally. They even have accessories. I got sunglasses. I'm actually going to probably buy a couple of other pairs of them. They're awesome. And if you use code PSA, you get site-wide discounts. So please make sure that you use that code when you are at la-terrain.com. And that's how a professional does it. Anyway, we are going to head on out. We will see you guys next week of course, for another episode of the Philly BroCast. But please make sure that you follow us and like us on Facebook. Easiest way to get all of our shows, put on that automatic notification. Not only will you get all of the Philly Sports Alliance shows, but you'll get all of the Painted Line shows that stream on our Facebook automatically with a pop-up. So put on that notification. That way you get all of our shows. Don't forget, normally at 8 o'clock, we would have the Birds of the Round Table, but I think we are going to perhaps move that to tomorrow or Thursday. Will to be determined. So please stay tuned for that information. Otherwise, we will see you guys on Monday for another Football Smack Talk show with myself and Eric and the rest of the Philly Sports Alliance shows. So, Finn, you got anything to add before we head on out of here?
Giants are going to rest their starters, and Jalen Hurts is not going to play.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. I cannot wait to discuss this when all of that is not the case. So we will see you guys next week. Go Birds if you're going down to the tailgate. Wells Fargo lot between C1 and C3. Never C2. And look for the Philly Sports Alliance flag flying high up in the sky. Yeah, it'll be there. But so that's it for us. Thank you so much for liking, following, sharing, and all the other fun stuff that you can do. Appreciate it, Shane and Tinny, for the comments. And Evan chiming in at the very end. Appreciate that. We almost didn't get a good play. Thanks. Appreciate you guys are having a good time at the Ale House without us.
He must be like one time zone behind. I told him 7 o'clock. So
no, it's Evan. What are you going to do? So that is it for us. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week. Go Birds. Let's lock up that number 1 seed. So for the Philly BroCast, I am Ryan.
And I'm Ryan. Good night, Bros.
Everybody have a good night. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Music licensing reimagined.